Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, everyone. So, before we start the discussion, let us have first a short motivational activity, and this is entitled You Raise Me Up. So, the mechanics of this game is that you will guess what country is identified and you will raise the flag originally, but since we are here in a video lesson, I will let you guess what flag or what country is it.
And now first, my capital city is Kuala Lumpur. You're right, it's Malaysia. Next, I am the land of the rising sun. Correct, it's Japan. Next is Liminho belongs to me. Right, it's South Korea. When I say hello, I say sawadika. Right, it's Thailand. Last, my official dialect is Mandarin. Correct, that is China.
As you all notice that the countries in our motivational activities are all in Asia. And in connection with our topic, we are gonna talk about Asian regionalism. I am Kyla Vendraka, and together with my co-discussant Rizal and Breen. Before that, here are the expected learning outcome. First is to define regionalism and open regionalism. Next is to discuss the evolution of Asian regionalism. And last, identify the profit and advantages of Asian regionalism. So first, what is regionalism? Mays and Thurin, 1996, defined regionalism as a process in a specific geographic area that allows for the development of shared core values and norms across many actors. So regionalism, it is a process or proseso ng pagbuo ng ugnayan at pagkakaisan sa loob ng isang tiyak na rehiyon. And it is also a political ideology that favors one specific region over a greater area. And sa pamamagitan ng regionalism, nade-develop ang samahan, kultura at patakaran na nagtutulak sa pag-unlad at pagtugon sa mga isyu sa loob ng isang rehiyon. And also, it involves various interaction in various fields rather, such as businesses, finance, science, diplomacy, politics, military, and more. In Asia, regionalism is characterized by competition and plurality, influenced by national rivalry, interest, and diverse ways of conceptualizing the region. So when we say Asian regionalism, let us remember that it is a product of economic interaction between Asian countries. And also it is a phenomenon wherein all Asian countries or some Asian countries make an alliances or association that could ensure the security and the safety of their land and sovereignty. So back on globalization and regionalism, they have a lot of differences since we all know that globalization is the interaction between countries and it is limitless and it happened all over the world and across national borders. While regionalism, it focuses on strengthening ties between countries and on a specific region. And now let's move on to the evolution of Asian regionalism. It will be most beneficial to use 4 milestone years, 1967, 1989, 1997, and 2005 to chart the development of Asian regionalism. So first is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or also known as ASEAN. So here are the countries that belong on ASEAN: the Brunei, Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Cambodia, Singapore, and Vietnam. Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, was established in 1967. So it is the very first association that was established on Asian regionalism. And the main goal of ASEAN was to unite Southeast Asia against communism, which was clear during the Vietnam War. And the Vietnam War happened or started during 1950, and where security was the main issue. In order to defeat communism, the founding members made economic cooperation a top priority. So ASEAN promotes regional cooperation and integration among its member states. and it aims to enhance regional peace and stability, to foster economic growth and development, and promote mutual respect and understanding among its member states. In 1976, ASEAN's inaugural Leaders Summit was held in Bali, Indonesia, adopted the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation. So the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation is a universal principle that promotes friendly and peaceful cooperation among its member states. And it outlined the guidelines that would form the foundation ASEAN's Code of Interstate Behavior. So these standards includes: first is the respect for territorial sovereignty. It is a recognition and protection of a nation's territorial integrity and independence. So, kailangan natin kilalanin na yung bansang yun ay may exclusive control over its own territory, including sa land, airspace, and maritime. Next is to pledge not to interfere in the internal affairs of any country. It means that to refrain from involvement or intervention in the domestic affair of other sovereign nation. So, kailangan wag makialam sa kung ano yung internal na problema ng any country or yung basta-basta ka nalang makikialam sa problema ng ibang bansa. Last is the peaceful resolution of conflict. So, any parties with disagreements of dispute work toward a solution or agreement without using force or any violence. So, kailangang mas resolba nila yung conflict na yon in a peaceful manner at hindi ginagamitan ng dahas. So, next in the evolution of Asian regionalism is the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC. So, here are the countries that are member of APEC. The Australia, Brunei, Canada, Indonesia, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, United States, Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, Mexico, Papua New Guinea, Chile, Peru, Russia, and Vietnam. The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC meeting was founded in 1989 with the goal of fostering effective and transparent economic transaction in the region by observing and evaluating regional institutions, markets, and regulatory standards and norms. So yung APEC, nag-focus siya sa trading and markets, and it promotes sustainable economic growth, prosperity, and cooperation among its member economies in the Asia-Pacific region. And it facilitates trade and investment liberalization, and to promote economic and technical cooperation and enhance regional integration. So the concept of Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Mechanism put forth by Saburo Okita and John Crawford in 1960s and 1970s served as the foundation for the creation of the APEC. So John Crawford and Saburo Okita are both economists. And John Crawford is an Australian diplomat and economist that served as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Trade in Australia. So masasabi nating sila ay talagang bihasa dito sa konsepto ng Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. APEC's Bogor Declaration of 1994 set ambitious goals for member countries, free and open trade and investment, but because to the organization's openness, different states were able to interpret these goals in different ways, making it difficult for them to be realized. So, itong APEC Bogor Declaration, nag-i-aim ito na ma-achieve ang free and open trade and investment in Asia-Pacific region by 2020 for developed economies and by 2020 or 2025 for developing economies. So, it is significant commitment to promote economic growth and development through trade liberalization. And mas magpapalawak ito ng kalakalan at pamumuhunan sa Asia and sa pagpapaluwag din sa kalakalan at pamumuhunan at pagbubukas ng mga merkado or let's say open market at regional integration or pagpapalakas ng ugnayan at kooperasyon. And now, let's move on to ASEAN plus 3, or consisting of Japan, Korea, and China and ASEAN countries. So Japan, Korea, and China were the founding members of ASEAN plus 3 that was established in 1997. So basically, they are the third in the evolution of Asian regionalism. And first is China is the one who initiated to become a member of ASEAN. And then due to their similarities of Japan and Korea, they also joined in ASEAN. So it becomes ASEAN plus 3. So the ASEAN plus 3 has developed over time in comprehensive framework for cooperation in a number of fields including political security, commerce and investment, finance, energy, tourism, agriculture and forestry, environment, education, health, culture, and the arts, among others. So, yung ASEAN plus 3, ito ay nagpapalawak ng ugnayan at kooperasyon ng rehiyon sa Timog Silangang Asya. Since yung 3 countries na ito encountered difficulties due to cultural differences, they insisted to join ASEAN. And nagdulot ito ng mas malawak na pag-unlad at seguridad sa bawat bansang kalahok dito. And the main vehicle to promote East Asian cooperation toward the long-term goal of building East Asian community. So last in the evolution of Asian regionalism is the East Asia Summit. So East Asia Summit is an annual meeting of government leaders from Asia and the Asia-Pacific region, led by the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. The first summit was held in 2005 in Kuala Lumpur. So it is a meeting that was headed by the states and government of East Asia Summit participating countries. So from the word annual, ito ay ginagawa taon-taon. Ito ay sinasagawa taon-taon na dinadaluhan ng mga leaders ng bawat bansa. So the East Asia Summit has 18 members, including the 10 ASEAN countries, the Australia, China, India, Japan, New Zealand, South Korea, Russia, and the United States. ASEAN is responsible for leading the forum and the chair position rotates annually among ASEAN member states. So we have ASEAN plus 3, which consisted of China, Japan, South Korea, and ASEAN countries. We have also ASEAN plus 6 na dinadaluhan na ng India, Australia, and New Zealand. And ASEAN plus 8 kasama yung 6 and 3 and ASEAN countries, nandoon na din yung US and Russia. So, maybe magtataka kayo why US, Russia, and other non-Asian countries are belong in this association. But actually, they were not really formal member. But they were just partner or partnership para mas mapalawak yung ugnayan ng ASEAN. And dun sa susunod na mga discussion, matatakal doon yung open regionalism at kung ano nga ba talaga yung kahulugan nun. The East Asia Summit has addressed various issues, including maritime security, the environment, energy, global health, natural disasters, and pandemics. So, itong East Asia Summit, isa siyang forum wherein doon na dinidiscuss yung mga political, security, and economic challenges facing the region. So, since dito nila pinag-uusapan yung mga challenges na kanilang kinakaharap, and dito din sila nagka-come up ng mga solusyon para matugunan yung mga isyong nasabi. And it is important in advancing closer regional cooperation. And that's all. So now I am giving the floor for the next discussion.
So hello everyone, I am Romsal Andrin and I will discuss to you the open regionalism. But before we dive into the topic, let me give you a brief overview on what we should expect about this topic. So sa topic na ito, malalaman natin kung ano ang definition ng open regionalism. Its three analytical components and also its profit and advantages. So now, let's proceed to what is open regionalism. Ano nga ba ang open regionalism? So, open regionalism, it is a unique approach that aims to balance the increase of agreements regarding trade with efforts to promote global trade by embracing the principle of non-discrimination in terms of membership. Open regionalism is an regional economic integration without discrimination in terms of member countries. Pag sinabi kasing open regionalism, kalakalan siya na nangyayari sa specific region without excluding the other economies outside the region, or hindi isinasantabi yung mga bansa sa labas ng region. Dito sa open regionalism is sinusunod nila yung principle of non-discrimination, specifically in terms of membership, since dito lahat ng member countries is pantay-pantay. Lahat sila dito ay equal. Sa open regionalism kasi is nire-respeto yung diversity ng member countries. Walang superiority na nangyayari. Kahit na mayaman or developing countries ang bansa ninyo, kapag kasali kayo sa open regionalism, lahat kayo doon ay pantay-pantay. So, open regionalism seeks to remove economic barriers within the Asia-Pacific region without excluding economies outside the region. So, dito, kapag inalis yung economic barrier sa Asia-Pacific, is isasabay or hindi nila isasantabi yung other economies or yung mga bansa outside the region. Example ng open regionalism is yung ASEAN. Since yung ASEAN is collaboration siya ng mga bansa sa specific region. Pero, nakikipag-collaborate pa rin sila sa mga bansa outside the region like USA, New Zealand, Australia, at marami pang iba. Yung open regionalism is may kabaliktaran siya. Ito yung discriminatory regionalism. From the word itself, may discrimination na nangyayari. Sa discriminatory regionalism kasi, mas prioritize nila yung member countries kaysa doon sa mga hindi. For example, aalisin nila yung economic barriers dito sa member countries. Doon sa mga hindi members is hindi nila aalisin. So now, let's proceed to the 3 analytical components of open regionalism. So the first one is implementation of open policies concerning trade obstacles. Dito, nag-implement sila ng mga open policies na makakapag-address sa mga trade barriers. Ano itong mga trade barriers? Example nito is yung mga tariff and quotas. So, kapag nakapag-implement sila ng policies na nagre-reduce ng tariff, then mas mapapabilis yung pag-trade ng mga goods and services across borders. Dito, implementation of open policies siya since hindi lang isang member countries ang mag-e-implement ng policies, kundi marami silang member countries ng open regionalism ang magko-collaborate with each other para makapag-implement ng mga policies na makaka-address ng mga trade barriers. Like for example, sa ASEAN, isagawa or na-implement nila yung AFTA or yung ASEAN Free Trade Agreement, kung saan nakapaloob dito yung mga countries na mayroong free trade agreements sa ASEAN, such as yung ASEAN countries and yung China, Korea, Japan, New Zealand, and India. Then the next one is yung regional collaboration to reduce non-official trade obstacles and promote regional commerce volume. So dito, yung different countries in a specific region like Asia Pacific are collaborating with each other to make it easier for business to cross across borders. So yung ginagawa nila dito is they simplify the custom and reduce the tariff. Next, and the last one in the 3 analytical components is the regional market integration through either government policies or private discovery of profit maximizing patterns. So, dito, they bring different market in a specific area or in a specific region. So, nangyayari ito dahil sa mga policies ng government and because sometimes, yung business na yung gumagawa or they make ways to earn more money. So, yung ginagawa nila is nag-expand or nag-branch out sila ng mga business nila sa iba't ibang bansa. Since, di ba, yung business is hindi lang siya nag-i-stay sa isang lugar. Kailangan niya mag-expand to earn more money. Tumako naman tayo sa profits and advantage of Asian regionalism. Marami yung profits and advantages of Asian regionalism and isa-isahin natin ito. So the first one is help to reduce inequality both within and between economies. Since, di ba, sa regionalism, non-discriminatory ito. Doon pa lang, nababawasan na yung inequality since yung mga member countries is itinuturing na equal. And also, yung benefit is ipinapamahagi equally, walang labis at walang kulang. The next one is promote growth and establish regional controls to better handle international challenges related to health, security, and environment. Dito, yung mga member countries are collaborating with each other to address these issues. Like for example, nung pandemic, di ba? Yung Asian countries they work together, they collaborate with each other to prevent the spread of virus in our region. And also, yung ASEAN, nag-establish sila ng ASEAN Biodiversity Center kung saan prenoprotektahan at inaalagaan nito yung biodiversity sa ating region. Next is boost productivity and maintain the region's impressive growth. Diba may quote na teamwork makes the dream work. Since mas maraming countries ang nagko-collaborate and nagtutulungan, mas marami din yung magagawa nila para ma-maintain yung stability sa region. Next is can reduce the impact of regional and global shocks and address international and regional instability. So dito, kapag yung one member countries are facing downturns, the other member countries, sila yung tutulong and maglalend ng some resources para makabangon yung countries na yun yung country na yun na nakakaranas ng downturns. Like for example, yung ASEAN, itinatag nila yung Shanghai Initiative Multilateralization kung saan dito, if one member countries are facing financial crisis, then the other member countries, they will lend some financial support para makabangon yung country na yon and ma-maintain nila yung stability sa region. Let's proceed to the next one. Reducing the risk posed by global imbalances and downturns in other major economies by diversifying the sources of global demand and stabilizing the global economy. Like dito, they make sure that if other major economies are facing downturns, then it doesn't drag everyone else, or kapag yung other major economies is nakakaranas ng crisis, then the other economies will pick up the slack or sila yung gagawa ng paraan para ma-maintain yung stability globally. Like for example, they will spread the goods and services or product na galing doon sa major economies na nakakaranas ng downturns sa ibang economies para yung other economies is hindi lang sila nagre-rely sa isang market. And dahil dito, mami-maintain na yung stability globally. Next is sports economic expansion and raises income throughout the world by creating productivity improvement, fresh thinking, and competition. So, mas nag-expand yung economy and mas napapataas yung kita kapag yung mga businesses are nag-work together, nag-create ng new ideas, and compete with each other. Since yung competition sa mga business, maganda din siya kasi the more na nagko-compete yung mga businesses, the more na mas marami yung job opportunities yung nagagawa nila. Kasi mag-hire sila ng mga tao or ng mga worker para matalo yung kakompetensya nilang business. Like for example, nang nagko-compete na business is yung Apple or iPhone and Samsung. Nag-hire sila ng tao para mas mapaganda yung quality ng product nila and matalo yung kakompetensya nilang business. And mapapataas din yung kita kasi yung mga consumers is parang mako-curious din sila and bibili sila para malaman kung saang product ba mas maganda yung quality, sa ganito bang business or sa ganito. So next po is effectively manage health, safety, and environmental challenges can lead to more effective global solutions to these issues. So, since maraming bansang nagtutulungan dito, mas marami silang solution na maisasagawa para ma-address itong mga challenges na related to health, safety, and environment na pwedeng mag-lead para masolusyonan yung mga challenges globally. Like for example, itong mga bansang ito is nagpatupad ng mga about sa pagtatapon ng basura sa maayos na basurahan. And kapag yung mga bansa na yun is naisagawa ito, makakapag-lead ito para masolusyonan yung problema in terms sa pollution. Next is strengthen Asian capital markets, and the effective utilization of Asian savings, which contribute to the financial stability of around the globe. Like dito, since diba, successful investment attract investors. So, kapag yung Asian savings is maayos na na-invest and maayos na nagamit, then makakatulong ito para mapalakas yung market ng Asia. And kapag malakas yung market ng Asia, makakatulong ito sa stability globally. And like, pwede din itong gamitin na Asian savings sa ibang paraan. Like, for example, if other economies outside the Asia is nakakaranas ng downturns, pwede natin itong ipahiram na Asian savings doon para makabangon sila at ma-maintain yung stability globally. Then the last one in the profits and advantages of Asian regionalism is the demonstrate an initiative to promote free trade and economic growth. So dito, they support the idea of trading goods and services without restriction. Kasi kapag nag-trade ng goods and services na walang restriction, mas madali yung galaw ng mga products. And also, mas madali para sa mga consumers na bumili ng goods and services abroad. So, overall, maganda ang Asian regionalism. Marami siyang advantages, marami siyang benefits. However, pwede siyang magka-drawbacks kapag hindi maayos ang pamamalakad ng mga member countries nito. Yung Asian regionalism or yung regionalism is meron din siyang disadvantage. Like, for example, in terms sa privacy sa paggawa ng policies. Yung regionalism kasi, marami silang member countries doon. So, since maraming member countries doon, parang nawawala na yung privacy ng isang bansa na gumawa ng sarili nilang policy. And also, I think in conclusion, yung effect ng regionalism is nakasalalay sa mga member countries nito. So, dapat yung mga member countries sa pamamalakad or sa pagpapatakbo ng regionalism, dapat transparent sila at inclusive. Lahat palagi nilang iniisip na sa paggawa ng mga policies or ng mga programs, dapat para ito sa lahat, beneficial sa lahat at hindi sa iilan lang. And that's all po for our discussion. Thank you for listening and I hope you have learned something. Thank you.
And also here are our reference. Thank you for listening and watching. Have a good day, everyone.